My mom is married to a guy named John. Mom has me, 20 male, and John has Britt, 18 female. Mom married John when I was 7. She had been divorced from my dad since I was a baby, and my dad died a few weeks before Mom's wedding. Britt lived with her mom in another state until after the wedding, and then John got sole custody of her when she was 7. Britt was awful to live with. She was messed up from a lot of stuff and took it out on others. She mocked and insulted my disabled grandma, took her prosthetic leg once, and left it in the mud. She wrote all over my photo of my dad in my room. She told me that everyone was glad he was dead. She messed with my homework a lot. It got so bad my teachers knew the deal and let me do it at the end of the school day and hand it up so it would be safe. Mom's best friend died when Britt was 14. While the rest of us were at the funeral, she destroyed the friendship bracelet Mom had with her best friend. She also tried to get me into trouble over the years by telling her grandparents that I bullied her. Britt ended up going to live with her mom when she was 15. My relationship with Mom became strained because Mom wanted me to leave the door ajar for Britt, and I said no. Not to mention, I felt like Mom made me deal with too much. A year ago, my mom and John got an apology from Britt, and they were in touch with her. Mom didn't tell me then because I had made it clear that I didn't care about Britt or want to hear updates about her. Last month, Britt moved in with my mom and John because she's pregnant, and her mom had done some romantic stuff with Britt's baby's father. After Britt moved in with them, Mom tried to convince me to let Britt apologize and to be in her life so that Britt's child could have an uncle. I said no. Mom said at least we should come to an understanding, because what if Britt and her child need me in the future? What if she moves out in a couple of years and falls on hard times and needs a place to stay, and she and John aren't there? I told her I wouldn't take her in, even if she were homeless with her kid. I said Britt does not have my loyalty or my kindness. Britt is someone I don't want in my life. Mom said how awful I was and went off on a tangent about Britt being homeless. I told her she better ensure Britt always has a place to stay with her, so she'll never have to worry about homelessness. My mom said that was a given, and how dare I imply otherwise, but I shouldn't be such a cold-hearted monster about a family member. I told her Britt is not my family. As far as I'm concerned, she can couch surf for the rest of her life, and I wouldn't lift a finger to help her. That it's her job, since she clung so desperately to her at my expense as a kid. Mom said she raised me better. Her anger in bringing this up has not ended, and she's convinced I'm an awful person for my stance. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Frankly, your mom is a bigger idiot than Britt. She allowed you to go through this trauma. Britt needed mental health and an intervention. Your mother prioritized her marriage over your mental health and safety, then had the nerve to minimize your trauma and vilify you for having boundaries. You deserve better. At no point from what you say have Britt, your mom, or your stepfather apologized to you for the sustained bullying you had to endure. You do not owe them anything. Britt is a pregnant 18-year-old who can't live with her mom because her mom has done stuff with her baby's daddy. OP is not the idiot, but Britt has absolutely been failed by every adult in her life so far. It sounds like she didn't get adequate interventions or medical care for whatever happened that messed her up in early childhood. Yep, this will not end well. Being harsh now in your refusal to support her will be useful in future dealings with her. And there will be more. Your mom says you're a cold-hearted monster, an awful person for not being open to Britt being in your life. Her sole priority is you being an uncle to Britt's child and supporting Britt if she falls on hard times. Maybe she should look in the mirror to see who's the cold-hearted monster and awful person. She didn't help the poor girl, and if she raised you, then she would have protected you too. Obviously, that didn't happen. I've been dating this single mom for less than a year. I knew she was a single mom from the get-go, and that was fine with me. I did ask if the baby daddy was going to be around, and she said he was not. I asked because I know some baby daddies can be crazy with their baby mama's new boyfriend, so I wanted to know what I was going to get into. That was pretty much all we talked about him until recently. Her cousin's birthday was coming up, and she asked me to come with her. When we went, one of her other cousins was pregnant. She complained that baby daddy's name was a bum and ditched her. The name was the same as my girlfriend's baby daddy's name. I asked her about it, and yes, apparently the cousin and my girlfriend have the same baby daddy. I jokingly asked if he had any more baby mamas, and my girlfriend said yes. I kept asking questions, and apparently he got 4 other women pregnant before my girlfriend, and yes, he ditched them all. My girlfriend knew about 2 of the other baby mamas. Afterward, I asked her why she would date such an idiot if she knew what he did. She said that he was charming and charismatic, and that she was dumb. I took some time to myself and decided to break up with her. By the way, her son is only a toddler, and she's 30. I just basically thought that there's no way I could be with such poor judgment, and that she was old enough to know better. I feel bad, but I genuinely don't trust her judgment anymore, because if being charming and charismatic is all it takes for her to be with some serial impregnator, then I don't think I can trust her judgment. Not the idiot, but I've added serial impregnator to my vocabulary. Sorry to her, but yes, I will judge your thinking capacity if you see a man with various baby mamas and still go on to have a kid by him. And no, I cannot imagine or include myself in the future drama that's bound to happen. Wow, just wow. Unfortunately, many hide multiple kids until you're well and truly pregnant. My ex denied the 2 kids before my son, despite me seeing the paternity test after my son was born. He doesn't tell people about my son either, and has since decided it's his responsibility to repopulate the town. That dude is still around and knocking up family members left and right. Seriously, baby mamas should all go after him for child support and make his life so difficult he voluntarily gets a vasectomy. Doesn't change my answer and pure speculation on my part, but I wonder if she just wanted a baby and not an involved baby daddy, so she slept with a guy with desirable physical characteristics that she knew wouldn't be involved, similar to women going to donor banks, but cheaper. That is a lot of drama no one needs in their life. Dude, your thinking is spot on. Never let anyone tell you you did the wrong thing here. My wife passed away 3 years ago, and she owned really expensive jewelry. In total, I would think it cost more than $100,000. A lot was passed down, and she would save for years to buy an expensive piece. My daughter, 27, is bad with money. She works on commission, so her cash flow is different every month. One month, she makes a ton, and the next she's broke and sells what she bought last month. She will spend all her money and then have to sell to make ends meet next month. I've tried to get her to be responsible with money, but she's an adult, and there isn't much I can do. I've watched this dance for years. She called me up and asked when she could take her mom's jewelry. I told her I would prefer to keep it at my home. This started an argument about how I'm not using it. I told her she would never get her jewelry unless she changed. I would prefer to keep them in a box than to let her sell them when she messes up her money again. She called me a jerk, and my wife's family's getting involved. Edit. Everything went to me when she passed. My daughter has no claim on them, and I would hand them over if she wouldn't sell them. Not the idiot. It's all in your name. You have every right to have your say. I'm sure there's a lot of sentiment attached to your wife's jewelry, and your daughter doesn't appear to be, at least presently, the type to appreciate it for what it is. Don't let anyone persuade you otherwise. If your daughter gets her hands on any of it, it'll be gone and sitting in a pawn shop. You're absolutely correct in not giving it to your daughter. Please do not cave into outside pressure. The odds of her selling your wife's sentimental jewelry are pretty high. Is she your only child? I would wait and see if she finally grows up and takes her financial responsibility seriously. If not, I would give the jewelry to any future grandchildren. Maybe I'm crazy, but I would get a fake replica made of one and give it to her. See how long she lasts before she starts calling about how she tried to sell it and it's fake. Also, put it in a safety deposit box so it doesn't magically walk off the next time she visits. My 18 female parents were never together, and my dad never wanted kids. I was a mistake, and I've always known that. I've always lived full-time with my mom and rarely saw my dad. He's from a wealthy family, pays more child support than he has to, and gives me a lot of money. He's never tried to build a relationship beyond throwing money at me, and I've accepted that we'll never be close. My mom got married when I was 2. My stepdad has 3 kids, 21 male, 18 female, and a nearly adult male, and they have 4 kids together. My mom doesn't work, so money's tight sometimes. My mom is like my step-sibling's real mom. Their dad has never been like my real dad. After they married, they focused on creating their new life together, and I didn't fit in their perfect family. My stepsister and I were never able to build a relationship. When we were little, my dad would buy me better toys, and sometimes I let my stepsister play with them, but she would break or steal my things, so I started to keep my stuff from my dad hidden. We were both too young to know better. Even as we got older, we never got closer. My mom prioritized my siblings in obvious ways, and I was jealous of that. My stepsister's jealous of the things my dad bought me. I've always had lots of new clothes, electronics, and makeup, while she doesn't. She also has 2 loving parents while I have none. Our biggest fight was when we turned 16. My dad got me a car and threw me a big party. She said some very hurtful things. I now try to avoid her. We're graduating this year. I'm valedictorian and got accepted to my dream school, so I'm really happy. I'm having a big graduation party that my dad is paying for, and he's buying me a new car. He is also paying for me to go to Europe with my friends. I'm moving out, so he's not paying my mom child support. His child support was essential for them. My mom will have to get a job, and stepsister will have to take care of the kids. We had a senior sunset last Friday, and my stepsister and I had a huge fight. She called me a spoiled brat who constantly rubbed my fancy crap in her face while she had nothing, and said that it was insensitive of me to leave and have fun in Europe for a month while she was stuck watching my mom's kids. She's my mom now that my stepsister can't be the coddled brat anymore. She said I should at least share my grad party with her because she doesn't get one, and I laughed at her. I told her no for obvious reasons. I did say it rudely. She said that I used Daddy's money to try and cope with the fact that nobody loves me and my mom likes her better than me. That hit hard. I blew up on her and called her an entitled witch and said she didn't deserve anything from me after stealing my mom and ruining my life. She started crying and left early. When I got home, my mom said I was being insensitive and that if I couldn't control myself as an adult, then I couldn't stay in her house either. I'm at my dad's right now, and I don't plan to go back, but I kind of feel bad. Did I say or do too much? Not to be rude, I'm genuinely asking. Aside from your mom, are stepdad and all the kids even invited to your party? It seems like it would be awkward with a lot of resentment. Not the idiot. It sounds like you've worked your butt off in high school, and you deserve to be celebrated. You're not responsible for how your stepsister is honored, and you don't have to share, especially given the prior tension. Would it get me in trouble if I said you could send your mom a thank you card for removing you from the house, since she only cared about you because of the money she got from your father? I'm sorry you must deal with both sides of your parents acting like this most of your life. But at least on the bright side, it teaches you to be stronger, and they will fall back on themselves for once. You don't owe stepsister anything. Congratulations on graduating and being valedictorian. Enjoy Europe. My parents divorced when I, a female teen, was a baby. My older brother was 2 at the time, and he's now nearly adult. Our dad remarried just over a year after the divorce, and they created a blended family. Dad had us. Our stepmom had 2 boys who were pretty much the same age as my brother and me, and they had 3 more boys together. My parents split custody of my brother and me, and we always knew life with both parents. We also always knew life with our stepmom, but we always knew our mom was our mom, and stepmom was stepmom. I've never considered my stepmom equal to my mom in my life. My mom comes first. If I want motherly advice, I go to her. It's my mom I want when I'm upset and stuff. My stepmom is fine, but she's just not my mom. One thing about my stepmom that makes me awkward around her is that she always wanted to be the mom of a daughter, and she has no girls. She apparently latched on to me when she and Dad got serious, And my grandparents and aunts and uncles said that she used to try dressing us in matching stuff. She has this weird fixation with me. She's not upset that my brother considers her second best, but it bothers her that I don't consider her my mom. She tells me every year just before Mother's Day that she would love for me to call her on that day while I'm with my mom. She'll also ask if I want to do some mother-daughter Mother's Day event with her every year, and I always say no. Then I get to see her face fall, and she'll start to cry. I don't have that kind of love for her, and I'm not even sure I actually do love her. She makes me so uncomfortable with her obsession with me being a girl for her. My mom joined me for a mom and daughter photography trip that my photography club hosted. We were gone for an entire day and had a great time. My stepmom saw photos of us on social media, and she cried, asking why I invited Mom when it wasn't even Mother's Day. I could have invited or asked her instead, and we could have done something cool like that. She told me how much she longs to get the experience of being a mom to a daughter. I told my stepmom she needs to accept that she will never be the mom to a girl, and I will always be my mom's daughter and not hers. She told me she's been in my life since I was a toddler and should see them both as my mom when I spend the same amount of time with both. She said it was disgusting that I would reject her over and over again and then tear her down like that when she could easily be my second mom. Am I the idiot? Edit. My dad does nothing about her. He's always like, oh, why don't you just be nice and give in, etc. Not the idiot. You said your dad and she had 3 more kids together? It kind of feels like if one of them happened to be a girl, she would only care about you as much as she cares about your brother. You need to get your dad involved in this. He needs to advocate for you. This behavior is unhealthy, regardless of her wishes. She needs to respect you and your boundaries. Stepmom here. We're not owed anything. You have your mom. Your stepmother needs to understand that she will never be able to replace her. By the way, she doesn't want to be your second mom. She wants to be your mom, and that's impossible. The sooner she realizes that, the better. She's not owed the experience of being a mom to a daughter. This woman needs a wake-up call. You are the idiot. Establishing boundaries is acceptable and needed. However, there's no need to be needlessly cruel here. You're just assuming that she's only desperate for a daughter. How are you so sure she doesn't genuinely want to get to know you? With this attitude, all you're really doing is making your father's life much harder than it has to be. If this cannot be resolved, go live with your mother.